All right, if you're still watching, it is Business Rendezvous, and if you just joined us, that's the show on air. I'm Daisy Lira-Sikidi, and I have my co-anchor here in the studio with me, Lawrence Osifo, and together we're going to be discussing with a politician, a member of the Nigerian Labour Congress, an energy expert, someone who's into oil marketing. Yes, I'm talking about Engineer Marvelous Omobayo. And we brought him here today to talk about subsidy removal and the updates. You know, a lot has been happening. We even recently saw that Edo State government is looking for a way to mitigate the effect. And he said workers should now be working 3 days in a week to reduce the cost of transportation on them. And we know lots of probes are going to come out from this, or we're hoping that people will be probed about this subsidy removal, the sudden removal, increase in fuel price, even when subsidy has been paid till June. So a lot of issues have been coming on this subsidy matter, and we're going to talk about it and its effects in the economy. Lawrence.
All right, welcome, engineer. Nice to have you on the show this morning. So as an expert in the energy sector, someone who is into petroleum per se, what do you actually think? What's your opinion on the removal of subsidy by the federal government? We were just taking sort of unawares because they told us that
it will end in June.
It will end in June. But May ending, or May 29th, on the day of inauguration, the president said subsidy is gone, and there was astronomical hike in the price of petrol. So what's your take on that?
Okay, thank you for having me. It's a very serious issue. I'm critical to it too. Okay. I'm a critical stakeholder. By implication, I'm a Nigerian. And it's going to affect me. It's already affecting me directly, indirectly, my household, my entire household. Yeah, that is number one. Number two, I'm also going to be approaching it from the labor background. Yes, I'm a labor man. And I'm also going to approach it as an energy expert.
Sorry, when you say you're a labor man, you mean the Union Congress?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
In fact, as
when you hear labor in Nigeria right now, we have two kinds of labor. Okay, labor as a political party and labor as a union.
Both of them. Both of them, yeah.
Okay.
In the last election, the last presidential election, I represent Akoko-Edo Federal Constituency. Okay. Yes, and I'm even heading to the tribunals. I have a sitting this morning, fine. But this issue is very important. I had to stop by to add my voice to it. Yes. Okay. Subsidy, the layman, the way they understand it, is a very direct statement. It's like a sum of money that is set aside by a government or a state to cushion the effect, to reduce the price of a particular commodity. It could be farm subsidy and all of that, but we are talking about petrol here. To start with, when you talk about subsidy for petrol, it's been long delayed. That is the truth of the matter. I know that it's going to have serious, it's already impacting on us negatively, no doubt about that. But with the figures we have been getting over time, that in every quarter you spend over 1 trillion. If it's your private business, it calls for concern.
That's
so I do not want that to be an excuse again for government to say that is why they are underperforming. You understand? It's good they have removed it, Yeah. But of course, the impact is not something we can shy away from. Why I came here today is to chip in 1 or 2, and I would like it to go viral because of the way they are handling it. It is a palliative for me that I'm not quite comfortable with. Yeah. Okay. So it requires practical step, not paperwork. I saw what they did with TUC and NLC. I'm not less than 20% satisfied. Even though we know we are Nigerians, because the essence of service, you are rendering a service as a president. It's service rendering. It's not your father's property. So the essence of rendering of service is to ensure that a greater number of the population will feel what you are trying to do. So it's not a question of just sitting down to take a decision. We are not saying subsidy is bad. It's also not. It's timely because the economy, as we are meant to understand, is running on negative. So that is if that is the only way that can bring it to the pride of the other country, why not? Let's go ahead. But for the palliative, when you're talking about getting buses, you want to give 5,000 to poor Nigerians, those are fraud. Those money, if we look at it together, okay, go ahead.
Okay, we're going to pause you here now because we need to make way now for the news to come up. Immediately after the news, we'll take this conversation and deal a bit more about these palliatives and methods of mitigating the effects on the show. We'll be right back. Right now, welcome to the concluding part of the show Business Rendezvous. We're talking with Marvelous Omobayo. We're having his opinion on the subsidy removal and all of its effects. And right now, governments from all angles are suggesting or preferring solutions to at least offer palliative to cushion the effects of the subsidy removal. And Mr. Omobayo, we were on that before we went on the break. What do you make of all of these palliatives? Are they really going to be effective? Will the economy boom? Will individuals be more productive with all of this?
Like I said earlier, that I looked at the template, like an assumed template that they are thinking of maybe implementing. It's less than 20%. It's not going to do anything serious, but it's a reality that has come to stay, and it is with mixed feelings. But what can we do? That is on the one side. But just look at what the state governor did.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's laudable?
Yes, it is.
On the one part, yes. For me, not because this is across party line, I'm a Labour person, but it's laudable that he was even ready that something like this will come up. If you look at the education and the tech level, you will know what I'm trying to say. As I speak, they are already going online. In the next coming days, you will see all of that unveiling. And the students, they will be at home, and the teachers, they will do that type of arrangement. He's not going to start it today. He has been working on it. Are you getting me? So that is how I think government should run. But it is a reality that has come to stay. There's nothing we can do about it. And we cannot continue to subsidize ourselves. So whichever way is going to go about it, no problem. But in my personal opinion, I stand to be corrected. I have taken my own personal time to look at the refinery thing and everything. Because we are talking about petrol subsidy removal. Yeah. So let us go to it proper. How much is being spent every quarter? It's about 1 trillion and some fraction, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm trying to prefer a solution now. That money, of course, if it is true, it means that that can even pay salaries for 3 or 4 months for all the federal workers in the country. I'm aware that what they earn is about 300 billion or something, or 321 billion, that amount they are. So that we also assist so that money can be deployed to something else.
Okay.
Now, if we are to look at the refinery, this crude belongs to us. We are not supposed to be talking about international price. That's why I say I'm critical in this. I understand it very well. We are not supposed to be talking about international price of crude, because if you look at the commissioning of that Dangote refinery, people started talking different things. Oh no, he's going to sell at international price. He's a businessman and all of that. I understand with records available to me that we have around 20% stake Nigeria as a country. Okay, if we do, the money you are deploying now to do small palliatives, and you're sharing for 5,000 to vulnerable Nigerians, put that money together, call Dangote for a roundtable discussion. We are talking about his service, and it's a practical approach. So that's why I say you have to put it, note it very well. Call Dangote, you are a businessman, we understand. The records available to us is, you spent about $9 to $10 billion in building this refinery. We gave him $2 billion to give us 20%. Okay, this money we want to spend now for palliative. What if we borrow for the last time? Because we have been borrowing. I'm aware. Just this administration borrowed over 70 trillion. So let us just borrow for the last time.
For the last time.
And let it be like a joint venture team, properly like JV stuff, like the Chevron and all of that. Okay. So let us be committed. We will give you the crude. Don't worry. But when you source for elsewhere, maybe from Ghana, anywhere, you can sell it, you can refine and sell to them at that price. But this crude we are giving to you at this rate, it can even be divided by 2. Just to ensure that at the end of the day, the end point is we should not buy petrol more than 250. We can do it. So if there's any way, all the economies, they have to sit down together, and the president should assemble a good team. They should sit down with Dangote, because as we speak, last year they brought out $1.5 billion for the Port Harcourt revamping. Up to today, they said that was going to cost 24 months. Yeah, 24 nothing. Months. So if they have paid advance, they should suspend it. Give the balance to Dangote. Say, okay, it appears you are the one who knows how to do this
business.
Go back. We even give you Port Harcourt. Let us do a kind of private-public arrangement. Are you with me?
Yes.
We have to be practical now. We don't want to. Let's not have this ego or pride to say, we cannot sell off. We are not selling off the assets. We want result now. Anything, what the people need just now is we should not buy petrol, because we have crude in our country. So all those comparisons, what Sweden is selling, what Nigeria is selling, should not even apply to us at all.
Okay, I think where Nigeria will have a problem is they are still interested in selling their crude to Dangote in dollars.
Exactly.
And so if he's going to buy in dollars, that's going to affect how much he's going to sell.
I am telling you now that
should not stand. Okay.
At all. If you really have the interest of Nigerians
at heart, okay,
take it like your business. Okay. Call him for a roundtable talk. All right. Find out his exposures. See how you can help him, because it's a businessman. he has put in so much, he wants to, there's a time frame. I'm sure he exceeded the time frame of kickoff, yes. Yeah. So he needs to recoup his money. Discuss with him, he's a Nigerian too. He understands, because life is vanity. Yeah. At the end of the day, if you sleep and you don't wake up, you don't even know if you have a refinery. So we should take it, because they are together, they're always together. He's a delight to the government. Yes, so it's somebody, they should sit down with team of experts and see how they can. If we are borrowing, let us borrow for the last time.
For the right reason.
Then let's have a higher stake. Then give him this crude. We have it. It's not. We did not buy it in dollars. God gave it to us.
It's for us.
Give it to him. Pump it to him. So that we should not buy petrol. It's like a cost. That so assuming we do not have crude at all, we are just. So it means we will buy 2,000 naira. That's the implication. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Dangote is still, until they do that, yes, Dangote is going to make a lot of money.
You want to share for vulnerable Nigeria. You want to buy buses. Those are fraud.
I actually have a question to that line, because the government have actually said they are going to roll out palliatives, bringing out solar cars and whatever. Now, what do you think this will have, the impact it will have on our petroleum industry?
Our government cannot even go. They can't. It's just a paperwork. It cannot.
Lagos State government.
Lagos State have started that already. We have fleet of buses in Lagos that
are solar operated.
It doesn't matter. I just as I'm an energy expert. It's good for the ozone layer. That is not. If you are not getting it right in the oil and gas, you also switch to the solar. Now it's business. That's not. But what we are interested is our citizens. Anything God gave to us, it should not be a cost to us. That is my, you understand? What anything you are rolling now should be at the side. But to say you are borrowing again to give palliative, no. Just borrow once and for all. Give it to Dangote. It appears we don't have any business running business. Since he is able to build a whole single train, the biggest anywhere in the world, just so we can trust him with our refinery. You should go and assess the Port Harcourt refinery and see the extent they have gone and complete it. So that we'll give him the crude. What do Nigerians want to hear is petrol should not be more than 200 or 150. The suffering is too much.
Exactly.
And that is we don't need. I'm not here to discuss palliative. The solution is before us. We have the crude. We have a stake, no matter how small, 20%. We can improve on the stake. Sit down with Dangote, discuss with him, borrow for the last time. You know, if you have to borrow 30 trillion to fire that refinery, give it to him.
Palliatives are usually short-term solutions, and we really need a long-term solution. Dangote is a private business owner, and if government doesn't do something about this, maybe even create competition. There's an expert who said create competition and government won't even need to negotiate so much with Dangote, prices will drop. Enhance the modular refineries, let it be a competitive market, and let everyone begin to drag and hustle for their own. It'll drop. But that's all good and fine. But I have one last question for you before we start packing up, preparing to leave. The subsidy removal was supposed to end in June, but now there's a sudden check in price, and even the NNPCL rolled out their own price templates, and it's not even uniform.
Absolutely. You have different geopolitical zones with different prices.
The lowest was in Lagos, 499. 488. So 488. What would you make of this? Should there not be some kind of probe why the NNPCL was so sudden to change the price? Because we're following their lead. Whatever they say. The
reality, because I'm a practical person, as an engineer, I talk practical. The practical thing is, there's nothing available. You heard from NNPC now. You read some days ago when they said federal government is even owing them. Are you getting me?
Yeah, I saw that.
I think all of this is just to recapitalize. Okay. Even the retail people, those of us who do retail business, maybe you have 10,000 left in your underground stock, and suddenly that news came in. Because if you sell at that 205, you are going back to the market.
To buy.
Yesterday at Ogara, it was sold at 480. Before you transport, do all the logistic, it will come here for 500 or 495. So that is the situation. Therefore, that uniformity in price.
Yes. Is there not supposed to be uniformity?
No. It's good like that. You know why? There's what we call PEF, the petroleum mechanization, whatever. They pay for transport. Okay. They have stopped all of that. So Lagos, that is the first point for when the mother vessel arrive in
Lagos
somewhere. So from Lagos, you may not even spend more than 2 or 3 naira to get into your station. That is why it is because of transportation. So if you look at it, it's very technical. It's self-explanatory. From Lagos, the distance from Lagos to Benin, maybe it's 20 naira per liter. So for a 45,000 truck, it's 900,000. That price cannot be the same thing when you are taking it from Lagos to Abuja. So the further
the price.
Okay, we needed to understand what
we need
that
to
was
understand
about.
this because when I saw it, I was
so they have
surprised.
cleverly removed their body. It's not that the federal government body.
Okay.
Yeah. So with time, I know there's going to be competition, but for today, if that solution should be paramount in our mind. If we need to borrow, let us not borrow the whole 4 years again. Let us borrow once.
All right.
Discuss with Dangote. He's a businessman. Every businessman wants to minimize cost and maximize profit.
Very true.
That's number one. And every businessman, he knows how much he has put in and what his expectation.
To get.
So I am sure if we give him a soft landing, he gets the good at a very reasonable price. Then we are able to, because it's under pressure to pay back. Absolutely. So we have to be sure that we can give him half of what he's owing. I'm aware the last time when he started, initially Standard Chartered Bank or something from South Africa gave him $4 billion. That's a lot. How do you return that kind of money? So I don't want us to trade dollar thing. We are using naira here.
Yeah.
So let us look at how it's going to affect what our people want to hear. Is at the end of the day, what does it translate to?
Yeah.
Since we have a stake, we can improve our stake. Let it be a private public thing like that, so that we can look at it. Dangote is also a human being.
Of course he is.
He's from Kano. His people are even suffering more. So this is my take.
Okay, we don't have much time. We need to go. We've been signaled that that's the end of the show. But the petrol subsidy removal, one thing has been established that's come to stay. It's long overdue. I remember the time of President Goodluck Jonathan when he tried, former President Goodluck Jonathan, when he tried to remove petrol subsidy labor. Now, these were the people that kicked against it, maybe because proper sensitization weren't done. People were not really informed and they did not understand all the corruption and politics that was plaguing the whole subsidy removal thing. But in a bold move, President Bola Tinubu has made that statement and it has come to stand. Now, President Buhari tried to also do it, but it was filled with lots of problems. So he stylishly and cleverly left the decision to Bola Tinubu, and the man, he's strong and is standing firm on his decision. We're not going back. But in as much as we're not going back, everyone needs to be together to help deal with these issues before we start getting solutions. Dangote Refinery's petrol was roll out in July, mid-July, not even beginning. So we're still in June, and we shouldn't be greedy. This is not the time for us to be greedy. This is not the time for us to be wicked. This is the time for us to watch each other's back. Edo State government has done something. Let the private sector begin to embrace it. Right here in ITV, our own management is also doing something about it. Our days for work has also reduced to 4 days now. 4 days. So let everyone begin to do something about this before the economy stabilizes. And that's how we're going to end the show today. We'll be back again tomorrow. You know, Business Rendezvous is every day from 9 o'clock to 9:55. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.